Boxing is a sport of skill, grit, and heart. On this night, the spotlight shined bright on two British warriors, each carrying their own story into the squared circle. In one corner stood Ben, the surgeon Whittaker, the flashy Olympian, known for his slick style, sharp jab, and confidence that often bordered on arrogance. He was the young star, determined to climb the professional ranks and prove that his skills weren't just for show. Across from him stood the battle-tested Liam "Cannonball" Cameron, a former Commonwealth champion. A man with experience, with scars from past wars, and with a reason to fight that ran much deeper than boxing. Cameron carried with him the memory of his stepdaughter, tragically lost 3 years prior, a wound that never truly healed. For him, this fight wasn't just about victory, it was about honor, pride, and redemption. As the announcer's voice echoed through the arena, the crowd buzzed with anticipation. 2 fighters, 1 ring, and 10 scheduled rounds at light heavyweight. The referee gave his final instructions: "Obey my commands at all times, defend yourself at all times, touch gloves, and God bless." The bell rang, and the battle began. Whittaker came out sharp, bouncing lightly on his feet, his jab firing early and often. He circled, looking to dictate the pace with his movement and precision. Cameron, in contrast, held a high guard, pressing forward methodically, trying to cut off the ring. For much of the round, Whittaker was the busier man. His jab split the guard, his footwork kept him safe, and his rhythm frustrated Cameron. Yet, despite Whittaker's success, Cameron remained composed, blocking many of the shots on his gloves and absorbing others on his arms. The veteran wasn't taking risks early. He was studying, calculating, waiting for his moment. The round ended with Whittaker firmly in control, but Cameron had shown he wasn't intimidated. This was going to be no walk in the park. As the bell rang for the second round, the atmosphere inside the arena shifted ever so slightly. Whittaker, calm and composed, returned to his jab, flicking it with speed, keeping the distance, and looking to re-establish the rhythm he had built in the opening 3 minutes. His footwork was light, bouncing side to side, giving him angles and making Cameron chase shadows. The young Olympian looked sharp, full of confidence, and for a moment it seemed like he was ready to run away with the fight. But Cameron had other plans. The former champion adjusted quickly. Instead of lunging or overcommitting, he began to take small, deliberate steps forward. He edged closer and closer, using subtle head movement, narrowing the space between them. Each time Whittaker's jab snapped out, Cameron's gloves soaked up the impact, and he pressed on. The pressure was quiet, calculated, and slowly it began to tell. Midway through the round, Whittaker let a crisp right hand fly down the middle. The punch landed clean on Cameron's guard and pushed him back a step. The crowd gasped and roared at the sound of leather connecting. But Cameron didn't flinch. Instead, he dipped low and fired a thudding left hook to the body. The sound echoed across the arena, a reminder that his power was real and that he wasn't just here to make up the numbers. That single shot changed the energy of the round. It was a message: "I'm here to fight." Whittaker, to his credit, kept his composure. He circled away, flicked more jabs, and snapped a quick combination upstairs. His speed, his reflexes, and his style were giving him the edge. But Cameron's pressure, the way he walked forward with his guard high, absorbing shots and returning fire, began asking questions of the young star. Could Whittaker keep this pace for 10 rounds? Could his slick style hold up against the relentless march of a seasoned veteran? By the time the bell ended round 2, the contrast between the two men was becoming clear. Whittaker was the technician, fast and fluid, piling up points. Cameron was the warrior, unbothered by flash, determined to close the distance and test the heart of his opponent. The fight was no longer a showcase, it was shaping up into a battle of wills. By the third, the contest had shifted gears. Cameron was no longer just pressuring, he was landing. He found openings, slipping Whittaker's jab, and sneaking hooks and rights through the guard. The former champion's experience began to shine. Whittaker, though still slick, was caught more often than usual. A sharp right hand from Cameron snapped his head back, drawing roars from the crowd. For the first time in his professional career, Whittaker looked troubled. Yet, Whittaker answered back with combinations of his own, snapping jabs, quick uppercuts, and flashy movements designed to reassert control. The exchanges were fierce. Both men tasted success, both men absorbed punishment. The commentators noted it was likely the toughest round of Whittaker's professional journey. Cameron's relentless pressure had forced him out of his comfort zone. This fight was no longer one-sided. It was turning into a real war. The fourth round was pure drama. The crowd could feel the intensity. Cameron kept pressing, throwing punches in bunches, determined to test every ounce of Whittaker's defense. He forced exchanges, banging to the body, looking to wear down the younger man. Whittaker, for his part, refused to fold. He let his hands go, firing back with 3- and 4-punch combinations, mixing shots to the head and body. His speed was dazzling, his flair evident, but his defense wasn't perfect. Cameron's heavy hands found their mark more than once. The two traded at center ring, the crowd rising to their feet as punches flew from both sides. Whittaker grinned, showboating, sticking out his tongue to taunt his opponent, but Cameron wasn't fazed. He marched forward, unfazed by the theatrics, focused on landing leather. By the end of the round, both men bore the marks of battle. Cameron had swelling near his right eye. Whittaker had been touched up more than usual. The fight was becoming a true test of will. The fifth round carried the fight to a boiling point. Cameron continued his steady pressure, throwing heavy hooks, working the body, and forcing Whittaker to fight harder than ever. Whittaker showcased his brilliance in flashes, darting jabs, slick uppercuts, and lightning-fast counters. But then, disaster struck. In a tangled exchange near the ropes, the two men clinched awkwardly. The momentum carried them both off balance, and in a shocking moment, they tumbled dangerously over the top rope. Gasps filled the arena as both fighters spilled partially out of the ring, a scene rarely witnessed in professional boxing. The referee immediately halted the action, calling for doctors and officials to assess the situation. Cameron, in particular, looked shaken. He had suffered an accidental injury during the fall and was unable to continue. The fight, just as it was heating up, had come to a dramatic and unfortunate halt. With only 5 rounds completed, the rules required the bout to go to the judges' scorecards. Each round was tallied, each moment of action weighed. The arena fell silent as the ring announcer delivered the verdict. One scorecard read 58-58, a draw. The second gave the edge to Whittaker. The third sided with Cameron. The official result, a technical decision split draw. Neither man left the ring with a victory, but both had proven their worth. For Ben Whittaker, it was a reality check. He entered the ring as the flashy young star, expected to shine, but instead he found himself in the toughest test of his career. His speed and skill were undeniable, but Cameron exposed vulnerabilities that future opponents will surely look to exploit. For Liam Cameron, the night was bittersweet. He had battled fiercely, pushed the Olympian to his limits, and in the eyes of many, earned respect that no scorecard could take away. Yet fate had robbed him of the chance to finish the fight on his own terms. The fans were left with questions. What might have happened if the fight had continued? Could Cameron's pressure have worn Whittaker down? Or would Whittaker's slickness have eventually broken through? One thing was certain, the fight had delivered drama, action, and controversy in equal measure. And now, the call for a rematch grows louder. Because on this night, there was no winner, only unfinished business. Fight fans, now it's your turn. We want to hear from you. If this fight had continued, who do you think would have walked away victorious? The slick and flashy Ben Whittaker or the experienced warrior Liam Cameron? Was Whittaker's speed and style enough to take control down the stretch, or would Cameron's relentless pressure and toughness have broken him down in the later rounds? Drop your thoughts, predictions, and breakdowns in the comments below. We love reading your analysis and hot takes. Don't just watch, be part of the conversation and join our boxing community right here. And if you enjoyed these highlights, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss any of our upcoming fight recaps, breakdowns, and highlight reels. We've got plenty more action-packed nights of boxing coming your way, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's next.